you gave them a full day off today, right?
Yeah.
And there's times in the playoffs where you can lose a game and you can overanalyze what happened and then whatnot. Does that play into? I mean, is it good?
Honestly, when the game got over last night and went into overtime, by the time we get home last night, it was close to 1 o'clock. So what are you going to do by coming in here today and doing anything? You know, we got a full day tomorrow. We'll come in and everybody will come to morning skate, and we're used to that too. The morning skates as a group, and then you know, we can do our meetings in the morning and then the other meetings at night. So it was a good hockey game last night. It's tough to lose in overtime, but you know, there's not a lot of. We didn't play bad or we didn't execute well. I mean, there's nothing we could do today that we can't do tomorrow.
Where do you see, I mean, like a lot of you guys are saying, this was a good game. We just lost it in overtime. I mean, where are the adjustments for you, you know, as you go game to game in the playoffs now?
I think we played the same game. We didn't execute near as well. That was the only thing. I thought we, you know, the passes weren't as crisp. The shooting the puck at the net wasn't, you know, we didn't get as many shots as we should have at the net last night. And I thought we passed a few up, but overall, we played hard, competed hard, just didn't execute well enough.
Is that just a natural thing where you're gonna have a game where you don't execute as well, or is that is that a function of, hey, we scored 10 goals in 2 games, and you know?
No, it's exactly what Larry wrote the other day. A little bit of cuteness, and you know, coming back into a big crowd, you know. And I don't read much, obviously, but somebody said something, and I sort of look at it, and it was exactly it. I mean. You come home, you got the crowd going crazy, and you try and make it a little bit cute once in a while. And I thought that's what we did. And again, we didn't overdo it. It's just that there was a little bit into our game where the first 2 we didn't see that.
Do you think that because you guys liked your game so much through the first 3, even though you did lose the third, that it makes it easier to turn the page and keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, playoffs are a different beast. I mean, you get ready for every game, 1 game at a time. Like, we didn't go into that game saying we're leading 2-0, we got to win this game. We go into it trying to win 1 hockey game, and that's what you have to do. And you know, again, we're playing a good team. They finished ahead of us in the standings. I think the teams are very comparable. What I talked about, and you know, we came out the short end last night. But I'm not disappointed in their group at all. You know.
For the team's psyche, though.
Yeah. No, you just got to get ready, keep going. I mean, if we would have got blown out 7-2 last night, I wouldn't be happy.
Right.
But again, it's 1 game, and you got to get by those games. And so, you know, I'm sure they feel good about themselves today, the other team, and. You know, we're okay. We're fine. We're in a good spot.
Phil was, you know, saying you have to get to the net. I mean, is that something that is a point of emphasis? Is that not always a point of emphasis? Or
for 2 years it's been.
Yeah.
And for every team in the league it's been.
Yeah.
That's the key. You got to get people at the net. I mean, their goalie played real well last night. He made some key saves on our power play on Mika, 3 or 4 real good saves he made. And so it was key. I mean, it wasn't a high chance game last night. I think it was like 14 each, somewhere in that area. So. It was a good game. Teams worked hard, competed hard, and unfortunately, they got the last goal.
Surprised you at all? That wasn't such a high event game with these 2 teams and the way they like to play. Like, you'd think it would be a little bit more.
When the series started, you think so, but once it gets going, I mean, everybody's trying to finish. You know, players that don't finish checks are finishing checks, and players that don't play as much defense are working hard or getting in shot lane. So that's playoff hockey. You know.
Have you ever seen Fox play as physical as he has?
Not in my 2 years, but you get, like I said, teams go after top players a little bit, you know. Nothing real dirty, but they went after them a bit, and that's part of the playoffs. And you got to stand up for yourself. You got to be a physical, but you got to be disciplined. That's the key.
You mentioned their goalie. I know you guys only worry about you, but when you've got a rookie back there, do you think that you guys could have done a little bit more?
Pepper, more shots, no
Yeah.
doubt. More people in the front of the net. And that's what we talked about. I thought the first 10 we passed up a lot of those chances and, you know, didn't take advantage of that early. Got better during the game, but you got to do it for 60 minutes and get there.
When you talk about doing those things, the shots and the getting to the net, you said you've been talking about that for 2 years. You've seen the team do it effectively so many times. Does that make it easier to correct because you can point to, hey, we've done this well?
And in saying that, we had 36 shots in net last night. I mean, we outshot them, and so we did a good job defensively. But again, I just think we got to get more people around that net. And you know, the kid line, I always talk about them. They're real good down low, and then we got to get more low to high plays, defensemen shooting pucks, and more traffic there. We didn't have enough rebounds last night, and you know, jams around the net as much as I'd like.
Well, you're basically saying that, is that easier for you to get that message to them because they've had success?
Yeah, no, they've seen it. We talk about it all the time, you know.
How did they make it harder on your power play last night? What did they do different? Did they do anything different?
Yeah, I think they jumped a little harder. they tried to trade Kreider away a little more last night. You know, him being in front of the net, and I thought they got in the lanes pretty well. So you know, we had some good chances from our power play. Like I said, Mika had 3 or 4 real grade A chances, but they took away the other option there with Kreider in the front of the net. There wasn't many shots going through from the point. You know, so they concentrated on that a little bit, but you make adjustments, you know, and it's not like their penalty killing did a real good job, but it's not like that we didn't have good chances because there was 4 or 5. Panarin had one in the back door that he missed in that short side. So again, it was just a little bit of missed execution last night for us.
Did you sense a little bit of frustration from Artemi when he came off?
A few guys a little bit, but nothing major. No, like nothing major. I mean, they want to score, they want to play well, and I think up until this point, everybody's played pretty well for us.
When guys are playing well, and actually, you know, I know it's each individual player who has his own, you know, makeup, but when guys are playing well but they're still not scoring, do you think that frustration builds up in them, and do you have to say to them, hey, you're playing fine, don't worry about it, the goal will come?
I do that all the time. That's a big part of our job, and like I said, I think somebody said about Mika not having any points or 1 point or something. I said, Mika's been outstanding for me in the playoffs so far. He plays hard. He plays that 200-foot game all the time. You know, and Brett likes to make those nice plays and get some jump in his legs and get some bounce in his legs in the power play. And you know, when things don't go in for him, he gets a little frustrated. But I thought I like the way he's playing. He's battling. He's playing hard. He's coming back in the D zone. So obviously they want to get their points, and that's the big thing for those guys. But right now, I think for 3 games, they've all played really well and know what it takes to win, and hopefully be ready for the next one.